try to be honest about why you're doing it. If you really think about it, if you want to do it because of the sex that's available, because you think it's a very sexy, admit it. If you want to do it because you want to just simply go to Hollywood and make some money, make television, go admit it, and focus your energies on that thing. If you want to do it because you want to show off, you feel like that you feel complete when you're up there in the limelight. But consider those things. Beyond it, maybe it's all of those things. But give it some thought. And don't be too hard on yourself. Just be honest with yourself. Critics, be careful of critics. I made the mistake of writing to critics that I disagreed with. It was the biggest mistake. Stupid. Don't do it. The greatest roles, I guess it's pretty obvious, but until you do the great roles, you don't realize that it's a lonely thing. I mean, think about it. How many Richard III's can be in one play? How many Lears are there in one play? How many Iagos? You know, very lonely. And when you are working in those great roles, don't be afraid of isolating yourself from the rest of the company. Be nice and all, but there is a distance that those roles require, and it will help you a great deal when you do them. That's a tough lesson to learn, because you want to have a lot of fun. Clothes. When you're going to be working on a show, I find that a costume is important. Even pieces of a costume, shoes, whatever you can find that will help you identify with the character. If you can do it early on, it's a pretty good idea. And you can find out quickly if it's the wrong thing, too. But it's a great help, I think. If you're going to do costume dramas, I suggest women that you do wear skirts. Get a rehearsal skirt and be aware of that. Because you move very differently in a skirt than you do in trousers. You do. Be careful of your shoes. And men, the same kind of thing. If you're playing someone in a formal atmosphere, take the time to wear a tie. Take the time to... It does something to you. Consider the shoes that you're going to be wearing. This really, it sounds like outside in from acting. But I think that anything that works for you, anything is acceptable. There is no single way to do a thing. Whatever you find that works is okay. When I was doing Cyrano a long time ago, I listened to the music of that period when Cyrano was around. And that was the time of Descarte was teaching. And Cyrano was a great swordsman, a true character, Cyrano, by the way. He wrote the first science fiction novel about going to the moon. Cyrano de Bergerac, this great swordsman. And he wanted to study with Descartes, and he was poor. He just went into this little private place where Descartes was teaching this very rich man's son. And he said, I'm going to study too. Well, what are you going to say to Cyrano? He's got a sword. But the point is that I listened to the music of that period, and I tried to study the pictures. And I decided to try to get some heels on my boots that were higher, and to listen to the music and work on the lines with that kind of thing happening. And there's something that happens to you when you have these heels. Women know this, to your back. It also affects the way you breathe and the way you speak. It does. And if you're going to do something in flats, it's going to be a very different thing. What I'm suggesting is there are so many approaches to the work, and no one really can tell you how to do something. They can help you, but in fact, the world is there to just simply, you